Give me a check 1, 2, will you?
Check 1, 2, 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 check 1, 2.
Okay, ready? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You're in charge of the chat. Oh, ready?
Okay, let me go find the chat then.
Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Did a new All You Can Eat podcast today with my old friend Jay, guy who got me fat, who made me addicted to certain
How dare you blame other people?
It is his fault.
You put the food in your mouth.
I didn't have an addiction to a certain food before he came around. That was 1995. It was he caused this. The proliferation of publicly available nachos probably would have done the job at some point, but no, he definitely pushed it on me. It's all explained in the podcast. Yeah, so go enjoy that, please. It was fun chatting. A lot of those I'm gonna have to. I like just having chats about food and life and things like that. Albie, where do you want to start today, bro? Your face looks very nice, though. By the way,
thank you.
I was noticing about you.
That's nice, thank you.
Did you ever find out if that guy at Domino's was a delivery driver?
Could have
We
been.
pulled into Domino's, and there's this dude, this fat guy,
Sitting in a car idling outside the Domino.
with like an RX-7, a Mazda RX-7 from like 1988,
And you said something about him, and then I said maybe he's a delivery driver.
You said, wonder if he's a delivery driver. It didn't matter. It was just funny because I hadn't seen that car, and it was a tiny car. I hadn't seen that car in a while. There's supposed to be a total of 4 different people watching this child right now, and it didn't happen.
Can you go find Sally?
Okay. So that was that earlier today. But where do you want to start? I can tell you,
Peter.
The Sunday shows. You can grab him, Sally.
Go and Sally. Well, first, I guess I should probably say, because a bunch of people who listen to this were very nice on Facebook or by text or whatever, and about my dad, who died on Thursday, and
Thank you.
I really appreciate all the nice messages and everything. And I mean, obviously, anyone who listens to this show and has heard me talk about my dad knows that it was a complex relationship and a complex household growing up and all of that stuff. And I mean, I guess what I'd like to say is just that it's been nice, having this podcast and being able to talk about some of this stuff on this podcast, that it's brought me a lot of, peace with things, to be able to, joke about them and have fun with them. And,
Yes.
It was meaningful to me to, have that, where we could talk about this here and have fun with it with people. And
It was noticeably meaningful to you. 5 months ago, I forgot what the occasion was when you were just opening up about your dad, and it seemed therapeutic for you.
Yeah, no, it's been really great. So I really appreciate that. And I think especially almost when you have a difficult relationship with somebody when they die, it can be a lot emotionally. And so I appreciate the outreach from people, and it's been nice hearing from people and all of that. And yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate that too. That is nice. It is interesting. We had a family friend lose her dad a couple months ago, and we mentioned it. She's very young, just a teenager. And just to hear from a bunch of folks, a bunch of people who we almost everybody in that thread, the particularly immature thread I'm part of, Alice.
Yeah.
I think all those guys lost their dads really early while they were teenagers. And it's amazing. So, I mean, it is good to be able to have had some years. He saw your grandkids and, he saw his grandkids. and met them, and he took some joy from them all, and yeah, he's an eccentric guy. I knew him, and I enjoyed talking to him. He was definitely like they said earlier. He would have a resounding, smashing, successful
His
podcast.
podcast would be far more successful.
Would be unbelievable.
Podcast.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. He was doing a podcast just during conversations 16 years ago when I met him.
Mm-hmm.
When I found out all the things that I had no idea about, that everything, but he was wrong about everything, and some of that stuff he probably was right about, as a matter of fact.
I mean, sure, yeah. He also was very one of the things he was like proudest of and happiest about in his life was becoming a U.S. citizen and doing the citizenship test. And he like renounced his old citizenship, and he was like gung-ho American citizen, like big into all that stuff, big into Ross Perot, sometimes to the detriment of his employment status.
Right.
I mean, like, but was like very, very engaged with American civics and the American project and being here, and was super grateful to like being in this country and being a part of what was happening. It was like a really meaningful part of his life. So
I didn't know that about the citizenship thing, but I certainly knew that he was a talk radio guy.
Yeah, he
like
liked
a Rush guy, and
yeah, he liked talk radio. He liked internet forums.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So, yeah, no, I mean, it's a little tough, but it's also was like we had a lot of time to like prepare, and it was very, very peaceful and all of that, and like no complaints on any of those fronts. And, I know people commented like about him being like kind of on the young side, but actually he outlived both his parents, died before 70. So, and he was 70. So that's actually the biggest, that's one of the biggest factors of like life expectancy is your parents' life expectancy. But so, I mean, I don't know, but he wasn't a big doctor guy, as you might have picked up from his belief that the medicinal benefits of cigarettes had been crushed by big pharma. And so like we don't necessarily have a lot of information about exactly what he died from per se, because he was not big into getting things examined from the doctor, but he had his own like wishes and his own terms, and he got everything he wanted, and he was very comfortable. And so that part of it is like a comfort for sure.
It is definitely and I don't want to drag this out, but it is certainly the world is a little different when you first lose a parent. It's a little different when you walk outside. Like there's something is a little different. I do think, and I've been using the term metaphysical for the last 4 days without ever knowing what it means. But I think I know. I don't think I know actually, but I do think that it changes you physically when something like that happens. Just a little bit. I think it has to.
I totally think it disrupts reality. I think any like encounter.
Well, you say disrupts reality. Yeah,
but I think like any encounter with death, life, having a baby. You're like crossing the veil in some way that you don't normally get a lot of visibility to. And so, so definitely it's been a little bit of a weird weekend, but.
Yeah. But so there we are. And we'll just take it as it goes. And if you become overwhelmed, Alice, feel free to bail if you need to.
Okay. But he would want us to continue.
He would want to. What did he say that we needed to be? I needed to be more something lunar. He told me that he told us we needed to practice chaos magic in order to have a more successful podcast like Diamond and Silk.
Was his exact suggestion. That was
Actually, I would take any advice now. So if he wrote it down somewhere, let's look. Well, it's funny because he's not wrong. Diamond and Silk, although we've lost one of them, is bigger than us. There's no doubt about that.
Definitely.
Unfortunately, I don't think the chaos magic for us would come off as legitimate. I don't think so.
Well, he believes Donald Trump is a big practitioner of chaos magic. It's some form of I don't know that much about it. There's a Wikipedia article if you want to go look, but some form of reality warping that people do to bend the universe into their favor. So he thinks Donald Trump practices it. And he said we come from a long line of shaman and medicine men or whatever. And I don't know. But certainly in terms of raw intellectual power of math and chess and computer programming, absolutely, without a doubt, the smartest person that I've ever met in my life, ever.
Yeah.
I mean, just certainly that came with some other qualities, but in terms of that stuff, that was.
Yeah, a big brained guy. There's no doubt about that. And a physicist, right?
Yes.
And your mother's a physicist.
Yes.
And so there you go. And would you say that our daughter being good at STEM is mostly due to you or me?
I think it's my side of the family. I think.
What about the mouth breathing? Is that
all our kids get mouth breathing from you? That's why they have myofunctional therapy.
See, I brought something to the table. Okay. All right. Do you want to move on?
Yes.
All right. So where do you want to start here?
Well, speaking of parenting, can we just can we just get in something fun with the Washington Post clip? Because this is a Washington Post video advice column, basically, where
go ahead.
You're looking for it.
Yeah, I have it right here.
But it's an advice column, and a person writes in with their question for advice, and this woman explains to them about
My daughter is in a polyamorous relationship with a married couple who are trying to have a baby. She plans to adopt the baby as a third parent. I don't like the man, and I'm worried for her. Should I intervene? No. I certainly hope your daughter is an adult. One of the hardest things to do as a parent is to watch a child make choices you wouldn't make. But that's the job. It's not your life. My daughter is in a polyamorous relationship with a married...
So the idea is that the daughter is going to be joining a married couple.
as the third parent.
And she is saying...
Can you imagine if our daughter told us she was doing that? Or any of you listening who have a daughter?
I mean,
oh yeah, I'm polyamorous with a married couple.
This thing where we need to let them make their own decisions. We need to let them find their way. That is the most overrated thing in the world. If you're an American person and a young person, if you're 25 years old, you're really 13. Americans don't have real life experiences. Many of them. Some do.
Mm-hmm.
But if you've been coddled by your family and in the school system and then and then college, and you're bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, just getting out there you're an infant still. In as far as wisdom and street smarts go, absolutely.
If you're in a polyamorous relationship with a married couple, you're definitely a babe in the woods. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, definitely. And if you're the husband here, this is this is just great. No wonder why so many
and can you
progressive husbands are feminists.
And can you imagine the environment for predatory people like that in this day and age, where the advice columnists are telling the parents, ignore your red flags here. This is all fine.
Yeah, well, when they talk about the minor attracted people, that's why they're advocates for them. Because they're just attracted. They're not acting on anything.
Now, little thought experiment here.
Yeah.
If this person had written in and said, I'm a parent, my daughter is in a relationship with a guy who's very into MAGA, and I have a lot of concerns about this. Should I say anything to my daughter? What do you think the advice columnist would say?
I think she would say, well, yes.
You have a duty to your daughter and America to tell them that they're dating a literal fascist and
who is devoted to a man.
This goes far beyond a difference of opinion.
Yes, who is married, who idolizes a man who was convicted of 34 rapes, and 103 felonies, and Epstein Island, and like, of course, it'll be all the worst stuff. Absolutely. But I mean, I just don't get how you defer to a young person on anything. They don't know anything at all. And
right. And by the way, being a parent, actually, the quote job of being a parent does not actually consist of approving of all your kids' decisions.
Yeah, that's why they all hate me.
Like it's not. The job description is not just validate everything they do.
No.
Even though some people nowadays seem to think that's the job description.
No, totally. It's like, that's the hard part about it, is doing this stuff that I don't want to be a cop. I don't want to be an enforcer. I don't want to be these things. I want to sit down and drink my gay vodka, tequila seltzer here. But like, that's the problem, is that you have to do those things. You have to, or else the kids are in space, and then there's no leadership, and then you have to do these things, and I'm not a good parent, but fundamentally, I get the fundamental rules of the thing, and that scares the hell out of me when you have progressive parents, and we've had friends who like do this thing where the daughter can sleep over the boyfriend's house, and I just want her to know that she can come to me anytime. I want her to know that she can. No, don't. No, this daughter as friend thing is just begging for trouble. I mean, at least in the formative years, and it's weird. And also, a husband should go to this guy and with a Louisville Slugger and freaking beat the crap out of this dude. The father of the girl,
right?
Who? Oh yeah, I'm going to share your daughter and my wife. Oh, really? Are you? F you, dude. But I'm sure that guy's a beta bitch too, so he's not going to do anything like that.
Well, shocker, the advice columnist, Carolyn Hacks, the one in this video, married her first husband, cartoonist Nick Galifianakis, in 1994, and then divorced him in June 2002, at the time of which she was pregnant with twins by the man who would become her second husband.
Yeah.
So,
and here's another thing.
Why are all the most psycho people proclaiming themselves dolers out of advice?
It is an interesting question, but that's absolutely true. Like, I know somebody who's a huge life coach now and is huge, world famous, and the stuff that she talked about,
she's really fun though. But yeah,
she's really fun.
I wouldn't necessarily take her life advice.
No, but that was the whole thing. Remember, she'd always share with her kids about where they were conceived. And you were conceived on the laundry machine, and she thought I was real. Remember, we were literally there for that.
Yeah.
And like this whole free spirit thing. Meanwhile, she was very honest about how she was a complete. How do you say it clean? She was highly hospitable to many, 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 many men in high school and college. Mm-hmm. She talked about picking her high school son's hobbies because she wanted him to be able to get laid. Was that true?
Yeah.
Ooh.
She was like, "Oh yeah, I want my son to play guitar because I want him to be able to get laid."
Great.
And I was like, "Do you want your daughters to get laid in high school?" And she goes, "In college. I want my daughters to get laid in college."
Jesus, I didn't even remember that. I remember is that remember we had dinner with them and they had the portion size was really small. It was showing me this is how you need to eat if you want to be a skinny. And she was right about that, actually, because she was hot. I mean, she was, for the demo,
Yes.
but she was right. She's like, Tom, you're going to lose her if you don't lose weight. You're going to lose her if you don't lose weight.
I feel like that's like one of the primary qualifications for women to become big name media figures.
What?
Being hot. You don't see a lot of like, even in the era of the podcast, you don't see a lot of like hugely fat, super successful, like life coaches, lifestyle podcast types.
Although, if there is one who's super fat, the moment they Ozempic down or do the lap band thing and become night and day, they immediately start preaching about how to live your best self. And there's no doubt about that. But I will say that you're right.
Oh, your son just texted me. No need to find flaws. The tooth came out.
Oh, Jesus. Alice is a particular sick bastard. So she likes to pull teeth out of kids, and so that the blood is all over her because she's a sicko.
I don't like to pull teeth. I'm just the person
Sorry,
in the house.
Alice. Maybe there's some. Tell him to leave the blood if there's some blood, so you can.
I'm just the person in the house who's tough enough to do things like pull teeth when the moment calls for it, which
Alice,
you will thank me for.
We're not in the dark ages anymore, Alice. You don't have to do disgusting blood and bandages things. They have people to do that. Just let the tooth come out. Our kids are wasps, Alice. They're not what you are, okay? Ugh.
Okay.
But what was the last thing? Yeah. So on the life coach thing, I will say that definitely has an effect because Dr. Laura, do you remember Dr. Laura Schlesinger?
Not really, but okay.
What did she do? Go take on the day. That's how she ended it. She was syndicated radio. When I moved to LA after high school, she was local there at, I think, KTLA, I think.
He sent me a picture.
That's disgusting. But anyway, she had such a sexy voice, and she was so fun on the radio. And when women would talk, and she was a big advice, like stop sleeping around thing. She believed if you had an affair, you never tell the person because that's you just cleansing your soul. She had some sharp. She was a big conservative, but she had some sharp advice.
Okay.
And she used to do this thing that was so cute when a woman would say, "Yeah, and my boyfriend cheated on me," and she would say, "Oh man," it was very cute, but she was not pretty at all. So she went up over to Fox News, and it just didn't last. I think it was Fox, just didn't last. She just wasn't pretty enough for Fox News.
Yeah. And
the radio personality. But you're right. I think you're right. That is a big thing. Is it a visual medium, Alice?
Not podcasts.
Well, I
Like,
guess.
do you think Call Her Daddy would be as popular if she wasn't an attractive young woman?
I don't think so, but I guess like is it boys is it men who watch that?
No, it's women who listen to Call Her Daddy.
Oh, you're right. I guess not. I mean, how do women judge people like that?
Yeah, I don't know, but it seems to me that that's like a pretty common factor.
Yeah, I guess they probably do in a sense because these girls are supposed to be the elite at all this stuff, and so women want to assume that
it's
they're
aspirational.
Yeah, women want to assume that they're with like the hottest guy. I guess I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Call Her Daddy, any of that stuff. I don't think I'm like. This whole thing, and you've had a problem with this for years, this whole thing where chicks will show their badass by being just as crude as guys, to me is not new, it's not original, it's not impressive. I think it's crude. I think one of the things that a woman is just supposed to show that she can be crude, but the idea is that she's civilized and reserved and unlike a chimpanzee because... you don't want to act like a dumb animal, and it's just also just not feminine. It's just whatever. Speaking of feminine, Alice, listen to this guy.
An Amazon worker died in one of Amazon's warehouses. And as he lay dying, management told the other workers, turn around, don't look, get back to work. Get back to work. That was a human being. That was a child of God. That was our sibling sacrificed on the altar of corporate greed.
You hear this?
We don't just have a political struggle in this country. We don't just have an economic struggle in this country. We have a spiritual struggle in this country. between selfishness and service, between greed and generosity. For 50 years, we've been told greed is good. Selfishness has been celebrated. But after decades of this corruption, I think we are on the cusp of returning to those old-fashioned values, returning to that teaching from 3,000 years ago to love thy neighbor as thyself.
That's James Tallarico, who may be your next senator from Texas. Sacrificed on the altar of corporate greed. He says about the Amazon guy in the Amazon warehouse who lay dying on the floor, and management says, let's not have 1,100 people staring at this guy. Please, can you guys get back to work? Which is the right thing for management to do. Like, to make this story, if it's true at all, into a story about how Amazon is corporate greed and unfeeling, that's not what this is.
Actually, by the way, I'm pretty sure Amazon jobs are like really good.
Well, yeah.
I think they pay pretty well and have like good benefits.
Why does Tallarico want everybody looking at the guy? Oh, yeah, is he dying? Yeah, I think he's dying. Yeah, that's all you want to do while you're having a heart attack lying on the ground is look at a whole bunch of people with mouths agape and aghast saying, oh my God, he's going to die. Jesus, how stupid is it? What a stupid time this is. And can we just get back to the freaking data centers? I'm sorry about this. And I know we talked about this a while ago, and some of our friends are sensitive and some aren't. But if you're some person who is trying to push back against data centers, you are a retard. Sorry. It really is. Enough. It's not a water problem. It's not a power problem. You can't let the Chinese beat us at this or it's freaking over. Do you not get this?
Yeah, everyone's lost their minds with the data centers. And I mean, I love our 1726 house and the history of it and all that. But if a company wants to offer us $4 million to turn it into a data center, which they don't, but if they did, hypothetically, which is like what some of the people who are complaining are being offered, and they're like standing firm against the greedy data centers. I'm not going to take your stupid $4 million. Yep. Like, really? Like, what is that friggin' important?
Yeah. So, obviously Maine is pushing back against these things.
Everywhere is.
And it's funny.
And it's like, I talked to a relative of ours who's very like pro technology and was like, because I said something about how it's like crazy the anti-data center pushback. And he was like, well, that's fine. Just let, like Texas and the states that are chill about stuff and pro-business benefit. And it's like also Texas. Governor Abbott is like signing executive orders to limit data centers and stuff. It's crazy. And in Ohio, the GOP is telling them to shut up about data centers because it's going to lose the Republicans the Senate race in Ohio.
I don't think that. I think that there are some things where you have to. If the American people really are swayed by data center hysteria, then we deserve the end of the country that we're going to get. I mean, it is so stupid. It's like somebody telling you not to cash in a winning lottery ticket. We need to win at this. We need to be the best at this. And in Maine, they're pushing back against these things. Of course they are. And it's like you can see that the paper mill companies, that was the powerhouse of Maine's economy. This is so synonymous to paper mills.
Yeah, they're probably a lot less dirty than paper mills.
No, certainly. And Steve brought that up too. So except paper mills poisoned earth. I'm not talking about that part of it. I'm just talking about all the data used to be kept on paper. Now it's going to be kept on spinning machines and air-conditioned warehouses. Let's just be the new paper mill.
And it already is, by the way. We already have tons of data centers in this country, and nobody gave them a second thought when it was just powering all their internet and their stuff in the cloud and their Google searches and whatever else they do, right? Nobody thought about it. It's just that AI has unlocked a much bigger need for that. There's like a bigger demand, and the demand for AI is not slowing down, is what's interesting about it. And I still think that we're like at the tip of the iceberg of AI adoption.
Yes.
Where it's like, yes, there are a bunch of power users who are like software engineers and stuff who are, and people in these big enterprise environments where they're like spinning up agents to do X, Y, Z and all this stuff, right? There's definitely power users who are using a lot, but most people, if anything, are just asking ChatGPT or Gemini a couple of questions here and there, or asking it to write their cover letter for something,
or animating their hot cougar wives to make them make out with each other, like I've heard some husbands did.
But and then there's a whole other swath of people that haven't even like opened an AI app yet at all,
right?
And are going to.
Yes.
It's gonna, like, the demand, we are nowhere near peak AI demand. Like, the people saying it's a bubble, I don't know what planet they're on, because I don't know how, like, I don't get what the fake demand for it is. Like, I think we barely scratched the surface of it.
Yeah. Well, no, to me, it's going to take over. It's going to be the only app I need. And it already is more and more for images and for other things. But another thing is, and I should ask you about this because the ChatGPT program is yours, but I don't have to tell it what to do anymore when I paste articles in. It now knows what I want. It knows I want to look for spelling and grammar, but don't change. So I don't have to tell it that anymore.
Yeah, it remembers.
Yes.
It remembers context. And you can actually, so you haven't even experimented with this yet either, but you can train specific GPTs in ChatGPT. You can set up one that is specifically designed to do what you want it to do without having to like
put any prompts in.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's, where, for example, like at my work, we have one that's all like set up with all of our value propositions and our brand voice and all of that so that you can use that one for copy. So you don't have to put in like context and this is what I'm doing and blah, blah, blah. You can just kind of plug and play because you have this one set up to do this. You can also, set it up to make apps for you to do specific repetitive tasks. There's all kinds of uses for it, and most people are barely using it at all, and it's just going to take off more. It's like the internet thing. We're like in 1992 of the internet.
Yes.
There's no, and yes, actually, it's a good example because in the 90s there was like a .com bubble that burst.
Yeah.
But it didn't burst in the sense that like overall demand for internet usage was not quelled. No. It was just like the adoption wasn't as rapid in every area where people thought it was going to be for everything right away. And
well, the market was finding itself. People were buying and selling domain names for millions of dollars. I mean, there was
all kinds of stuff happening, but
yeah, and by the way, you say the internet crash, it didn't hurt really the end user. It didn't hurt us.
Well, no, but the bubble burst in terms of like investments that some people made and stuff. People started companies and got involved in companies that didn't pan out, things like that. And the valuations of those companies went away. If you had stock in that company, then you were hurt.
Pets.com?
I don't know.
Wasn't that the huge one?
I don't remember.
And then there was one that Cuban had. Was that Jobs? No, it was TV.com or something?
It was something like that, yeah.
Broadcast.com?
But yeah, so like, I mean, we could have blips. Things could go up and down. Anthropic could go out of business. It could like overextend and then other competitors catch up with them or they burn their goodwill publicly and whatever. But the thing is that the demand for the usage of AI is not going to go down in the long term.
No.
From here. Like we're just at the beginning of it. And in order to power that, you need data centers and you need more electricity and you need more like HVAC infrastructure and all of this stuff that somebody's going to have to build. And one of the weirdest debates that I've been seeing online about this is people saying like, oh, data centers don't create that many jobs. And then you're like, yeah, they do. There's tons of jobs. Like all these construction, electrical, plumbing jobs, and they go, oh, well, construction jobs aren't permanent.
Well, I've heard this too, right? So they might employ maybe 200 people, but for the construction part of it, then that's much bigger.
Right, but are construction jobs supposed to be permanent?
No.
Nobody would friggin' work in construction if...
They try to make it sometimes.
I mean, like, the construction jobs, the idea is you build one thing and then you build another thing, right? You don't expect to be permanently employed building that same thing, one thing, forever. Well, you're going to have to then go build another data center, yes.
Well, and here's the whole thing, is that these companies are ready for RFPs. I mean, go shake them down. Tell them you want the place to look like the Magic Kingdom in Disney. Tell them, make demands. Tell them you want new school, new playgrounds. Tell them you want a dividend share.
But somebody raised something interesting online, which I think is really true, which is that these companies are all run by like psychotic tech bro people who don't understand like human beings, and that they don't understand that what they need to do is like go in and friggin' sponsor the little leagues and the apple harvest runs and like all the things.
Do exactly what the pot people did when they were opening up dispensaries.
Pot people, and you need to do like what every friggin' local bank and stuff does and do all the stuff. They need to hire some community relations people, for goodness sake. And they need to do this en masse in small municipalities. There was one really interesting story. I forget which state it was in. Maybe Mississippi or somewhere. I think somewhere in the South, if I'm recalling correctly. But there was one article that was talking about this and was saying that there was this one town where they had tied teacher bonuses to the town's sales tax collections. So that like if a lot of sales tax collection happened, like the teachers would get a bigger bonus. And they built a data center. And because of all the extra economic activity in the area, the teachers were getting like these $50,000 bonus checks, like crazy checks, in some cases bigger than their salaries. I mean, that's what they need to manufacture. If the town doesn't already have their taxes set up to do that automatically, they need to come up with ways to do that until people think they're like the Santa Claus coming to town.
Well, yeah, and imagine
like
that can ameliorate energy prices.
Yeah.
So, it's going to cost you nothing to heat your house this winter. I mean, there's so much opportunity. There's so much to be done. There's a lot of people I've heard who think that there's in a few years going to be states where net energy expenditures are going to be zero for consumers. And that's great. Mark Sardella says the data center thing is just more proof the left hates America. Yeah. Well, because
unfortunately, it's not just the left too, though. Is what's
Matt Walsh hates him too.
This seems to cut across party lines that people like.
Well, I mean, there are people who say they don't want them because of the privacy. Well, okay. Do you want the domestic company to be owning the data, or do you want a Chinese company? Because this stuff is happening anyway. So, I mean, if you're worried about stuff spying on you, then I'm sorry. Oh,
yeah, I think I'm anti-flock camera, but
I'm not. I hate the people effing with those.
But yeah, like it's if you don't let us win the data center race, then China's going to have a lot worse than flock cameras. So better get on board. Like, I hate to tell you. Splash says in the chat, like about the Amazon thing, it says delivery supervisors for Amazon make about $80K and you can be a supervisor after 5 years. I mean, that's a great deal. Why are you offering me? Oh, I know why you're offering me.
You see it in the chat. Cheswick said it.
Oh.
I just showed her a $5 bill.
Very right.
Yeah, I don't it's disgusting to me that people would look, but I mean, obviously political opportunists are cynical and terrible human beings. But if you're dealing with progressives can't win arguments, so they welcome crises. And so they're fine. They don't.
Yeah. I did see one interesting comment about the data center thing. Well, it's sort of about the data center thing that I thought was funny, which is it was Matt Iglesias, who is like one of these sort of abundance policy wonk liberals.
Whose podcast I started listening to.
I kind of like him, honestly, on Twitter, even though I disagree with him a bunch of times. And he's obviously a very odd person who's not representative of the median voter at all. But he's obviously like for infrastructure development and data centers. But he was like, it's such a weird position that the left has staked out that like everybody has the right to be involved directly in decisions about like how their local infrastructure is built, but doesn't have any right whatsoever to decide who's on the local basketball team. Like, and his point was really, I mean, because I don't even know what his position is on trans people and sport. Like, I don't think he cares about that particularly as a particularly big issue, but his point was more just like that why has the left decided that like the non-negotiable important issue that we absolutely can't compromise on and like the will of the voters be damned is trans people in sports and not like data centers.
Yeah.
It's like, no, the modern space race, like the modern technology of our time that we have to win this important technological battle with China, that's not important enough to override the will of the voters, but trans people in women's sports definitely is too important. We can't let the voters decide that. Like,
well, the funny thing is, and going back to Maine, Maine has gets 30% of its energy from Seabrook nuclear power plant. Of course, they shut down their own power plant because you can't have that, right? Mm-hmm. And all
what was the Vermont one? Yankee,
yeah. And so it's funny. So now Maine feels good because they got rid of their power plant. Meanwhile, they've got Seabrook nuclear power plant, the plant that they're using. So they're paying New Hampshire for power, right? At the same time, Seabrook nuclear power plant is about 10 miles from Maine.
Right.
It's CD1, Congressional District 1, which is where all the progressives are. So like, okay, so when the power plant blows up, it's going to kill you from New Hampshire now.
Fallout doesn't cross state lines.
No, yeah.
But yeah, it is. The like hysteria about nuclear does like remind me of the data center thing.
Yeah.
Because it's mostly just nothing hysteria.
Yes.
And by the way, I think that we still have like the myths about nuclear power burned into our brains. And that's why like Chernobyl, the TV series, was so popular. And
for the wrong reason.
Right. For the wrong reason. Nobody had the takeaway that this is about like evil, corrupt bureaucrats.
Right. Who are afraid of the state.
Right. They took away like, wow, nuclear power is really scary.
Yes.
And actually the show sensationalized the effects of radiation poisoning like way more than, and believe me, my parents are physicists.
Ooh.
I know that radiation is really bad for you, but I think that the mythology of radiation being really bad for you like looms really large for us culturally.
Can I ask you a question? Mm-hmm. Oh, no, it's beside the point. All right, go ahead. Finish that, and then I'm going to ask you.
And the other example I was going to use besides the Chernobyl TV show is the play Radium Girls, which I've seen be performed at like a bunch of high schools and stuff recently. No. It's very popular on the high school circuit, which do you know what that's about?
No.
It's about, how the watchmakers that made the glow-in-the-dark watches that had radium, they taught the girls to lick the brushes to get like a fine point.
I'm for that policy.
And so they all like got cancer and their like teeth were falling out of their heads and everything. And like so the play's about
I want to live back in that world where they make the girls lick stuff.
But I do think that we've like created this story about how terrible nuclear is when like mostly you can actually do a lot of good stuff with nuclear power and make it really super safe. And it's like way clean. And it's actually funny because I was talking to a relative. I've been talking to a lot of relatives lately, but I was talking to a relative yesterday who was talking about the data center stuff and said like, I said it was like nuclear power. And they were like, I'm so confused why environmentalists would be against nuclear power. I don't get it. You'd think somebody who liked the environment would be for nuclear power. I'm for nuclear power. I'm a lefty.
Yes.
I'm a lefty, and I'm for nuclear power because it like reduces carbon-based fuels and whatnot. But it was like because they're younger, they just missed that memo that nuclear was bad.
Yeah, they didn't get it baked into them like people in the 70s and 80s.
That's like part of the environmental
yes.
movement. They like, and I was kind of saying to them like, no, there's like old hippies in Vermont who are like lying in front of the trucks trying to build the Yankee nuclear power plant and whatever, because that's their idea of the environmental movement is this like anti-nuclear movement.
Yeah. When I was growing up in the 70s and 80s, Alice, there were people who would wear gas masks around to show, just in case. You see what we've done? I have to wear this around because at any time now. Okay. So the thing I was going to ask you before we do the chat was this. So speaking of people passing away, if let's say tomorrow a plane, one of those old biplanes that we see at the Plum Island Airport, if one of those tomorrow spirals down and crashes into you, killing you instantly, are we instantly just not married and I am free? Or do I have to fill out something? Do I have to annul the marriage, or is it done when you're done?
You don't have to annul the marriage. Marriage ends with death.
No paperwork.
No paperwork.
I can change my status everywhere, across the board.
Yeah. You're no longer married.
I'm going to need a...
The same goes for me, by the way.
No. You're married. I want Black Bunting. I want Mary Todd Lincoln. I want you just a husk of a woman.
You want me lying across the grave?
Yes. But, okay. So I'm going to have to talk to a consultant, because if this happens, then I need to have somebody as attractive as you. And so they need to know that I'm already grandfathered in for younger, more attractive women. You know what I mean? You know what? Let's table this and pick it up later, because I'm going to need some advice from you. Okay. Okay. What's now?
The chat.
Okay.
Now.
2 messages. Billy has stepped up. Other than that, there's nothing. Nothing.
Hey, Billy from Manchester. You
Billy.
mentioned Thailand caning.
Yeah.
What is that friggin' kid doing, banging on some toy? Do you guys live literally in the Charlie Bucket house with the 4 grandparents in the
Basically.
one room? I mean, are there more rooms in this house? It's a farmhouse. I get it. It's got asbestos. I get it. It
Correct.
has black mold everywhere.
Yeah.
And it's got food strewn everywhere because this fatso host can't. But what are we doing? The other thing is the reason why you don't have chat messages.
Yes.
It doesn't link to your website. Your website is not on the newest episode. You got rid of the Alice and Trump stuff. Congratulations, but it's not popping up. Your podcast is not popping up. The email, so it's not directing you to the chat. I had to go scroll 4 shows to go find this.
Oh, damn, Billy.
There you go.
I hate that kid.
Thank you, Billy.
Yeah, I understand. That's great advice. I'll get on that. Who knew?
And Tom hates our kids too, Billy. So you're in good company.
Hate is just.
Don't like to be around our kids.
Well, it depends. They have their moments. If they're funny, that's good. But they're doing kids. I'm not a huge kid guy.
And Cyrus and Paul banging on the toys. That's one thing. But Alice thinks it's funny. She thinks it's how it's so funny. They're just late. They're just having fun while we're trying to listen to a podcast. I mentioned Thailand cane. I meant Singapore. Just cane everyone in that family.
I'd be all for that, as long as I got to be the chief caner.
I'm very pro caning as a form of punishment. I think that would like really improve our criminal justice system. Actually,
hell yeah. Let's go.
I don't know why you think that's a thing. Anyway,
it is a thing.
Thank you all so much. Appreciate you guys listening to the show. And if you want to join the Patreon, patreon.com/burnbarrel.
C'est la vie.